I'm not
In the state of America, you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Okay.
A trucker demanding answers from a court with nothing to say.
Nobody can explain to me what's going on. The sheriff can't, the judge can't, you can't. Nobody can explain to me what's going on.
His commercial driver's license revoked after a South Carolina judge held a hearing that was supposed to be rescheduled.
I was not here to testify on my behalf on this case.
The judge accepted a guilty plea when the trucker was nowhere near the courthouse. The judge won't explain why.
Well, the public will see a report where we're questioning, and Mr. Bethea is questioning a judicial decision you made in his absence.
I can't talk about any pending or impending cases.
The state Supreme Court is now investigating, working to figure out what happened in this Chesterfield County courtroom.
But I'm still charged with something that I didn't do.
Jaquel Bethea tried to handle this all himself.
You still don't have a copy. So it don't matter if you're telling me that you sent a notice, you can't prove to me that you sent it.
And I can't prove that I didn't.
You know, so he say, she say, then that's an issue.
No, because I'm telling you we did send it.
During this conversation with the court clerk in May, Bethea knew he wasn't getting anywhere. When we met Bethea last month, Bethea had lost his commercial driver's license and his trucking job. We followed him to the Chesterfield County Magistrate's office, where he asked to see his case file.
Do they have a folder with all my stuff inside of it?
No, that officer, when he writes those tickets, he would only has the hard copies to go with those, and you would go back to him.
It did not exist. A sheriff's deputy charged Bethea with speeding last December and set his court date for February 12th. Bethea tested positive for COVID 2 days before his court date and called the court to have the hearing rescheduled. Bethea says the court told him to send in his COVID test result and they'd reschedule, but that didn't happen.
Good morning, Judge Patrick.
Good morning.
Hi, I'm Jody Barr with Fox out of Charlotte.
Court records show Judge Vivian Patrick held the hearing anyway. The speeding ticket was dismissed, but the deputy wrote a new ticket, charging Bethea with failure to possess his vehicle registration card. The judge accepted the plea and issued Bethea a $155 fine.
They created a ticket in court and also had an invisible person in court, which wasn't me, and said that I pled guilty to a charge I never knew existed.
In our investigation last month, we followed Bethea as he tried to find out how this all happened. It wasn't until he spoke with the Chesterfield County Sheriff J.D. Dixon that he got an idea of what went down.
An attorney called on your behalf.
The sheriff says an attorney made a deal with Deputy Clay Sykes.
My officer did nothing wrong.
Well, we're trying to figure out where did the other ticket come from.
When he talked to the lawyer reduced it back, so he dropped the speeding ticket and wrote another ticket. And that's what happened. Okay?
So he wrote another ticket, but
and then did you follow up with JR and Gerard?
we haven't talked to nobody. I was sick my whole about 2
But
weeks
did you
before.
talk to the lawyer?
No, we didn't even ever pay a lawyer.
But did you talk to him? I ain't say did you pay him. Did you talk to him?
We spoke to a lawyer. I don't remember.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
JR Joyner. You spoke with. JR called him and got it worked out. But and Clay took it on himself to go ahead and do this for the lawyer, thinking that you were going to contact the lawyer back, the one you originally called.
Bethea says he only had a phone consultation with J.R. Joyner, but decided not to hire him after Joyner wanted $250 to help. But the court, Bethea says, never notified him any of this happened. In fact, when the Betheas called to find out his new court date,
When we called on that day of the court date, they said that charge was dismissed.
but Bethea says the court never told him about the new charge, the guilty plea, or that he owed $155. When the deadline to pay passed, the state suspended his CDL.
So you haven't heard anything from the Chesterfield County Magistrate's office?
No. Nothing at all.
Days after our investigation aired, Bethea filed a complaint with the South Carolina Supreme Court's Office of Disciplinary Counsel, the unit that investigates complaints filed against the state's judges and attorneys. Bethea's complaint targeted both J.R. Joyner and Judge Vivian Patrick.
The Supreme Court of South Carolina Office of Disciplinary Counsel a letter.
The Supreme Court said in this letter the ODC is opening an investigation. but the letter only mentioned an investigation into the attorney.
That they basically going to investigate Franklin B. Joyner Jr., his law firm, but they don't say nothing about the courts at all, which I really think that's the least of my problems. I was hoping it was against the judge and the magistrate office and the officer that was on duty, but apparently they just going after the lawyer, which I don't understand.
Does this letter give you some bit of hope that something may happen to make this right?
Nope. What I feel is they're going to throw it up under the bus, and once again, the government take your money, and that's just the way it is. It costs to be in America.
I asked attorney J.R. Joyner for an interview about the Supreme Court investigation, but Joyner never responded. We again offered the Chesterfield County Chief Magistrate Judge a chance to be interviewed, but the judge says he still will not talk about what happened here. The Supreme Court letter did not include a timeline on how long the investigation may take, but told Jaquel Bethea he'd get a notice with the results of the ODC decision.